Well, the first topic was Hofstede's dimension. Hofstede, Hofstede's model includes six key dimensions for comparing national cultures. The dimensions are power distance, individualism versus collectivism, masculinity versus femininity, uncertain avoidance, long term versus short term orientation, and indulgence versus restraint. Well, now let's talk about Hofstede dimension in Ecuador. Well, about power distance high. Ecuador scored high on power distance, which means people tend to accept a hierarchy and authority. This relates to the importance of respect for leaders, teachers in Ecuadorian culture. Also, in school and workplace, decisions often come from the top, and people usually follow the instruction without questioning them too much. Well, in individualism versus collectivism, Ecuador is a strongly collectivist. Families, communities, and social support are essential for us. And people often really on extended family and relationships are more important than tasks. Well, in masculinity versus femininity, Ecuador score on the feminine side. That means the cultures value quality of life, relationships, and empty more than competition or achievements. People often avoid confrontation and try to create a peaceful environment. So Ecuadorian culture emphasizes caring for other modesty and social harmony. Well, and the fourth point, uncertain avoidance and very high. Ecuadorians has one of the highest uncertain avoidance score. People prefer stability, rules, and predictability. A sudden change or unclear situation can cause stress on us. And Ecuadorians like planning, clear explanation, and security. This is seen in a strong tradition, detailed school rules, and the importance of formal documents and procedure. While the 5 point Ecuador is more at a short-term oriented, tradition, culture, values, and the past experience are important, and people tend to focus on the present or near future rather than long-term planning. Celebration, rituals, and respect for tradition play a big role in daily life. Well, Ecuador also scored relatively high on indulgence. People enjoy live celebration, food, music, and social gatherings. Weekend and holidays often involve family events, festivals, and time outdoors. Ecuadorians value enjoyment, sociability, and emotion expression. So, Hostile Dimension shows that Ecuador is a collectivism, warm, and relationship-oriented society that values hierarchy, stability, and tradition, while also enjoying celebration and social connection. So now let's talk about geography, influence on identity, culture, and climate. First, I want to talk you about the insular region, the Galapagos Island. This region has a very unique identity due to its insulation from the mainland. The climate is influenced by ocean currents, and the islands are home to an extraordinary level of biodiversity. Because of this, people in the Galapagos place a strong emphasis on environment protection, conservation, and respect for wildlife. Their way of life is deeply connected to nature, and sustainability is an important cultural value. And many people from the island see themselves as a guardian of nature paradise. On the other side, we have the coast. This region has a warm and humid climate, and this life is strongly connected to the ocean. People on the coast often identify with beach fishing, tradition, and seafood dishes like ceviche or encebollados. The environment creates a very energetic and expressive culture, and coastal communities are known for being friendly, social, and lively. Their music, festivals, and everyday lifestyle reflect the rhythm and warmth of the tropical climate.
Okay, hi. Today I'm going to talk about two important regions of Ecuador, the Sierra and the Amazonia. To begin with the Sierra, this region is located in the center of the country and it is crossed by the Andes Mountains. It has many volcanoes and valleys, and some of the most famous Cotopaxi volcanoes are Cotopaxi, Chimborazo, and Tungurahua. People in the Sierra are known for their strong sense of community and hard work. There are many traditional celebrations, such as Inti Raymi and Kuya Raymi, which show their deep connection to the land. The people are also proud of their indigenous and mestizo heritage. Their traditional clothing like ponchos, wool hats, and shawls reflects both the cold climate and their cultural identity. Now let's move on to Amazonia, also known as El Oriente. This region is located in the eastern part of Ecuador. It is covered by dense tropical forest, crossed by many rivers, and includes humid lowlands. Some important rivers are Tenapo, Pastaza, and Putumayo. The climate here is hot, rainy, and very humid all year round. The identity of the Amazonia is deeply connected to nature and indigenous traditions. For the people who live here, the rainforest is both their home and their spiritual space. Several indigenous groups live in this region, so such as the Quichua, Shuar, Achuar, Haurani, and Kofan. Each group has its own language, costume, and beliefs, but they all share a strong respect for the forest. Also, I'm going to talk about the indigenous perspective. From the indigenous perspective, both the Sierra and Amazonia are more than just regions. They are living places with spiritual, cultural, and historical meaning. Indigenous perspective in the Sierra for many indigenous communities in the Sierra, so as the Quichua people, the land is considered Pachamama or Mother Earth. They believe that humans must live in balance with nature, respecting the mountains, water, and soil. The volcanoes are sacred beings or protectors. Traditional celebrations like Inti Raymi honor the sun and the cycles of agriculture. Community life is based on Aini, the value of mutual help and reciprocity. Knowledge, stories, and tradition are passed down orally, keeping history alive. This perspective emphasizes that culture, nature, and community are deeply connected. Indigenous perspective in the Amazonia region, indigenous groups such as the Quichua Amazonicos, Shuar, Ashuar, Haurani, and Kofan see the rainforest as living and spiritual spaces. For them, the forest is their home, their pharmacy, and their supermarket, and their temple. Uh, every river, tree, and animal has a spirit and a purpose. The harmony between humans and the forest must be maintained to ensure survival. Their tradition includes shamanism, healing with plants, and rituals that honor the spirits of nature. Knowledge is learned through experience and storytelling, not just formal teaching. Indigenous people seek to protect the rainforest because it represents their identity, their ancestors, and their future. Hello, today I'm going to talk about migration, so let's start with the effects of migration. First, effects of migrants. First, let's look at the migrants themselves. Migrants often face cultural adjustment. because they need to adapt to new language, lifestyles, and social norms. They may also experience change with social integration, especially when they are new and don't know the local community. On the positive side, many migrants find better economic opportunities, such as jobs or education. However, they can also face discrimination or isolation, which makes the process more difficult emotionally and socially. Number two is the effects on origin countries. Then we have the effects on the countries migrants live. One major consequence is the loss of labor force, especially when many young or skilled people move away. This can lead to brain drain, meaning that the country loses highly educated professionals. Sorry. But there is also positive impact. Migrants often send remittances, money sent back home, which helps support families and local economies. Number three is effects on destination countries. Final immigration also affects the countries that receive migrants. These countries often gain cultural diversity, which enrich society through new language, food, traditions, and perspectives. Migrants also make important economic contribution, for example, by filling its needed jobs and supporting the labor force. However, destination countries may also face social or political changes, such as debates over immigration policy or public service. Okay, I am going to continue talking about migration, but this time I will focus on implications. So migration is a multidimensional global phenomenon whose consequences reach across economies, politics, and societies in both sending and receiving countries. In economical implication, we have economically migration brings several important effects. Remittances sent by migrants help uh, increases household income in their home countries. They also help families smooth consumption, meaning they can afford basic needs more consistently. In many cases, remittances help fund education and healthcare, improving long-term development. Additionally, these resources can finance small business, supporting local economic growth. Uh, Also, the number two is the role of technology. Technology now plays a major role in migration. Social media and messaging allow migrants to maintain communications and support networks with their families and communities back home. Digital remittances also make sending money faster, safer, and cheaper, which increases their impact on local economies. Uh, Number three is political implications. So migration also has political consequences. Uh, Diasporas can influence domestic politics through remittances, activists, and even transitional voting. In response, some governments create programs to retain or reconnect skilled professionals, hoping to reduce brain drain or encourage return migration. Finally, number four is social implications. So, social immigration promotes cultural exchange. New language, food, arts, and tradition enrich the whole society. However, it can also create social tension, especially if integration policies are weak or unequal. On the positive side, migrants often help revitalize communities and support aging populations, contributing to demographic stability. Hi again, in this presentation I will explain the importance of national symbols and identity in Ecuador. National symbols are essential because they reflect the history, values, and identity of the country. In Ecuador, symbols like the flags and civic celebration show how people express unity and national pride. The first national symbols of Ecuador appeared during the independence movements. In '89, the first independence flag was introduced. It was red with a white cross, representing the first attempt to break away from the Spanish rule. Later in 1920, the city of Guayaquil used a light blue flag with stars when it declared its own independence. In 1822, Ecuador became part of Gran Colombia, so the country adopted the yellow, blue, and the red tricolor for the first time. After 1830, when Ecuador left Gran Colombia, the new republic experimented with different flags, usually using blue, white, and stars. Oh, so sorry, I can see that. Okay, finally, in 1860, sorry, the original tricolor was restored, and this is the design Ecuador still uses today. The meaning of the current flag colors. The modern Ecuadorian flag has three colors. It's with a specific meaning. Yellow stands for well, land, and abundance. Blue represents the sky and the ocean, and red symbolizes the blood of independence heroes. Ecuador also expresses its national identity through important civic celebrations. Some of the most relevant days are August 10th, Ecuador's Independence Day, September 26th, now as the flag out. Many schools celebrate it on September 2nd, sorry. And October 31st, National Coat of Arms Day during public events, parades, and especially football matches. National symbols are used to express unity and pride. Thanks.
Well, another national symbols, one of the most important symbols is the coat of arms, which contains several elements that represent Ecuadorian history and values. At the top, we have the Andean condor, symbolize strength, protection, and the ability of the nation to rise above challenge. We also see the mountain Chimborazo and the Guayas River, which reflect the beauty of Ecuador's nature and the origin of our territory. The ship displayed on the river is called the Guayas, and it represents progress and the country's early efforts in commerce and navigation. Another important part of the coat of arms is the sun and zodiac signs, which mark the month of the independence progress from March to July. These symbols connect our history with our national struggles and achievements. The laurel and palm branch around the shield represent victory, peace, and unity. And finally, the Ecuadorian feel a strong connection to these symbols because they reflect who we are, the flag, the coat of arms, the national anthem, and even our symbols express freedom, culture, and the diversity of our country. And these symbols are represented in school ceremonies, celebration, and everyday life, helping us preserve our national identity and pride.